Well, hi, I'm David, and I'm the CEO of TypeWise. I've advised many Fortune 500 companies on digital transformation in my previous career. I've co-founded TypeWise to boost productivity for these enterprises and their employees. In a short amount of time, we've signed on 4 enterprise pilots, including Fortune 500 companies, and we're on track of becoming a global player in AI business productivity software. Current human-machine interfaces are slow and error-prone, leading to a 90% productivity loss for text entry. Our text prediction engine boosts productivity 2 to 3 times in any enterprise system with an initial focus on customer service and sales. We increase communication efficiency and quality, thus impacting customer satisfaction and conversion rates. We're able to predict entire sentences, as you can see here on the screen, thanks to our ability to tailor the AI model to each client. Mistakes get corrected automatically, and employees can pull in smart templates with a single click. It's not just about boosting efficiency and quality, it's about understanding what type of wording leads to the best business outcomes and applying this across the organization. So our AI learns how the best employees write and brings that level to the entire organization, thus lifting up the performance of a sales team or a customer service team. Our AI technology outperforms big tech. Also, our tech ensures full data privacy and is compatible with all major CRM systems. Both are key success factors in winning global enterprise clients. We were able to build such leading AI technology through our award-winning B2C keyboard app, which we've launched in 2019 and has accumulated over 2 million downloads, giving us a lot of information how people write in various scenarios, the type of mistakes they make, and so forth. Now, earlier this year, we've launched our enterprise MVP and are already live with 4 enterprise customers. The goal for this year is to build the product platform to be able to onboard new clients quickly and scale up the commercial traction. The overall market for business productivity software is expected to reach $150 billion by 2030. Our most relevant markets, AI and predictive analytics, as well as Salesforce automation, are growing strongly. We've tripled revenue last year and expect to generate over $60 million in revenue by 2026. To execute our growth plan, we've got the right team in place. Our CTO, Janice, previously built and led the data science team at Swiss National TV, serving millions of households and analyzing all that data into one big data cube. George has a PhD in quantum physics from Cambridge University and spent many years at Toshiba AI. We're currently preparing our 4 million seed round, of which half has already been paid in. The goal is to build a solid product foundation to reach 1 million in ARR, which will then allow us to raise a sizable Series A next year. And with this, happy to discuss further afterwards. Thank you very much.
And thank you very much, David. David or David? What are you more comfortable with?
Well, it depends on the language, or you can also call me Dave or whatever is good for you. Yeah.
Okay, so it's English, so I'll stay with Dave in that sense. Thank you very much for that. So here's the rules. The jury has the chance to ask up to 2 questions. And you, if you feel like it back home, you can also type a question into the chat function. I can see Danielle already has a hand up. Danielle, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, David. Very nice presentation. I have a question for you, competition-wise. I couldn't see well the screen of the presentation, but where do you stand towards companies like Grammarly, for example?
Yeah, that's a great question. Now, we are quite different in a few things. Number one, Grammarly focuses on autocorrection and grammar correction. Our autocorrect outperforms Grammarly slightly, but I think that's not the point. What we do, it's about predictive writing, because that's where you get efficiency increases. That's also where we can automatically suggest the right phrasing to an employee. And the specialty is that we don't just generate a generic model, but we tailor each model to each client, as every company talks very differently to their customers, formal, informal. So it's not just about being concise, as Grammarly would usually suggest, but maybe for one company, being more wordy and more funny may work much better, versus for a bank, maybe you have to be very formal and very conservative. So we understand what language, by combining the language with, for example, NPS scores, what language actually leads to better business outcomes. And that's very different to how Grammarly operates.
In this case, if I may, Supersonus is another competition for you.
Okay.
Or, yeah, even Google Mails today are offering us this kind of option. So your differentiation is more enterprise solution, I understand.
Absolutely. And especially that we're able to work with Salesforce, with Oracle, with Microsoft Dynamics. So it's not built into one single product as like Google Smart Compose would be, but it's available to whatever systems the company works with.
Got it. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you very much, Danielle. And we have time for one more question from Lola.
Hi there. Thank you for the presentation. So as a former sales team leader at Amazon, I think this has potential to be a really useful tool. But also as a former sales team leader at Amazon, I know how hard it is to convince finance to adopt such a product. So I was wondering how you plan to illustrate to your enterprise clients what the impact that your tool is having on their sales.
Yeah. So actually, one former leader at Amazon who was responsible for 15,000 customer service agents is also part of our advisory team and is very excited about the solution. And we're discussing with outsourcers that are taking over customer service for Amazon to also bring them on as clients. Now, what usually convinces them is, like in stage one, it's the efficiency gains, where we can show after a few weeks already to get 10-20% of efficiency gains, where customer service leaders are usually very excited about these numbers. But that's the starting point. And then the entire quality aspect then comes on top. So for example, talking to eBay, what they're really excited about is that we can tie in NPS scores and customer satisfaction scores and understand what type of language actually drives up the numbers. And the same applies to sales teams, where we can then use conversion metrics, for example, to understand what type of communication in the end leads to more top line revenue. But I think the foot in the door is the efficiency. Also on sales side, all the documentation you have to do after a sales meeting, that's very mundane and takes away your face time from your clients. And that's where we can help immediately with a very strong impact already after a few weeks. And then the quality is something that's evolving then over time, but that probably drives much more value in the mid to long term.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for that question, Lola. Thank you very much, Dave, for the first pitch. It was a pleasure.